And it is time to get started. Hey, welcome to AtTheTrack.live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics related topics, including but not limited to friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, and many, many other topics. Once we have learned the science, once we have conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student gets to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the course. Once they have selected their cars, they take a picture of their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they document the year the car was manufactured. All of the information that they can observe, they put into a spreadsheet. Once we have done all of that, then they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a series of races. And students race their cars and observe how their cars performed. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on everything they observed? So, in the end, we use the scientific method. We have fun with science. We learn science. We have fun with Hot Wheels cars. What could be better? If you would like more information about All About Aerodynamics and how to bring our program to your school or your organization or your special event, all you have to do is go to our website, AAAerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, AAAerodynamics, and all of the information that you need is in the bio, and you can contact me if you have any questions about the science program. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics Presents AtTheTrack.live. So what is AtTheTrack.live? Well, before I can take all of those cars into a school for the students to use, I have to make sure that I know which cars I have, which cars I'm taking to a school, so that I can bring those same cars back, put them in the right order, have them ready for the next group of students. And in order to do that, I have to enter the information into my own spreadsheet. I have to document the cars. I have to take my own picture, take a little video. And that was a boring process. What I decided to do was create AtTheTrack.live. So every week I go into storage, I grab a handful of Hot Wheels cars that I've purchased but haven't entered into the fleet. We crack those open, take a look at those, do a little review. I get my picture, I get my little video, put the information into the spreadsheet, and then, since the track is already set up, we have a little mini tournament, and we see which of these cars is the fastest, and which of these cars is going to be the fastest car of the week, of the new cars that are entered into the fleet. But wait, there's more. It's AtTheTrack.live because you have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do, if you want to be a part of this, is go to AtTheTrack.live, and on that page you'll have 3 options. You will have the YouTube stream link, the Twitch stream link, which you don't need because you're already here. But the third option, the third most important, most critical option, is the one that says choose your car. When you select that option, you are taken to this page. And on this page, you will see all of the cars that are currently on the All About Aerodynamics AtTheTrack.live fleet listed. And there are currently 855 different cars. 855 different Hot Wheels cars for you to choose from. And all you have to do is go through, because I've already done the work of cataloging the cars, numbering the cars, putting the name of the car in there. So when you scroll through and you find the car that you think will be the fastest, all you have to do is take the number of that car. So if you think it's this Steel Flame, this green Steel Flame pickup truck, if for some reason you think that is the car that is, or in this case the truck that is going to be the fastest, faster than the other cars that are introduced today, then all you have to do is take the number, in this case 294, you drop that in the chat, I will go and pull that car, and boom, just like that, you are entered into the tournament. So just go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, and find the car you want to race. Hey, Never Ending, okay. Never Ending has made his pick and his selection. He is going with 752, and we will see if that is going to do it. So let's scroll down and take a look at car number 752. That is a car that has probably raced in the last couple of months. Let's take a look. Getting down, 855 cars and counting. We are creeping ever closer to the 1,000 mark, which will be just a cool number to hit. I think when I started at the track live, we started about around 450. So we have introduced at least about 400 cars into the mix. Okay, 752. And Never Ending is going with this one, the Speed Shark. Okay, I remember this one, but I don't remember how it performed on the track. But we are going to find out today. And I also, looking at the wheels, it makes me think this is an early 2000s, late 90s car. And so I can't tell from the reflection right there. It may be a metal body on a plastic base, but that base it looks a little plasticky from the reflection. I mean, we're going to find out when I pull the car, but if hopefully this is metal on plastic. If it's metal on metal, that's going to mean that this car is going to probably be pretty heavy. And we've seen that heavier cars have some issues toward the back end of the track, but we will see exactly how that all plays out. So I will write down that number, and that is 752, and we are good to go there. So we have that's the Speed Shark, and I see, hey, Roughshod is in the building, and he has also picked his car. He is sticking with 133, the RD06. Now, last week he picked the RD02. So now he stepped up, and we are going 4 degrees higher to the RD06. And we took a look at that one on Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So if you're not familiar with that, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, and whatever time it is where you happen to be, I have the Funtech Labs Windsable. It is a 1/64th scale wind tunnel. And we put the Hot Wheels cars into the wind tunnel, and we can see how the air flows over, under, and around those cars. And what we're able to determine is whether or not they have the aerodynamic profile that is going to make them good candidates to possibly win a race and win the tournament. This is the RD06 that Roughshod has picked, and I think this one is going to have a better chance than the RD02, mainly because of these two kind of prongs, fins at the back. The RD02 had the fins very close together in the middle, and I don't think that made for a consistent launch each time. Instead, this one, the fins are spread out a little bit more, so it should they'll touch the launching block at a wider point, and I think that should help this car get a much better and more consistent launch. We put it in the wind tunnel, and it had a good aerodynamic profile. The air was flowing smoothly right up over the top. There was no detachment of the air from the body, and those are the kind of things that we get into on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, and just really look at the aerodynamics. And we are able to compare what we see with the cars that we put in, that viewers pick. We compare those to our fastest in fleet car. And our fastest in fleet car is the car that has won the tournament, the weekly tournament. And the car that we have that's won the weekly tournament has won the weekly tournament for the last at least month and a half or so. And we are going to be talking about this one. It is the BlitzSpeeder. It is the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet. It has, it's now in its second run as champion. The first time it was champion for 17 weeks until it was defeated by the Gazella R. Then 16 weeks after that, it came back, defeated the Gazella R, and has beaten every single car that it has come up against ever since. So maybe today is the day. Maybe it's the RDO6. Maybe it's that, what is it, the Speed Shark. Maybe one of those cars takes it. We had another viewer who picked a Lamborghini Murcielago on Wednesday to race. Christopher, I think it was. And if he shows up, then we will throw his Lamborghini into the mix, and we will see if any of these cars can take out the BlitzSpeeder. So that is what we are going to be doing. We're going to be introducing some cars. We are going to be having these races, and we're going to find out if the BlitzSpeeder's run is going to continue, or if this is the week that it finally goes down. Now, if you remember last week, I introduced, hey, Caitlin, how you doing? So I think, so Caitlin's been picking cars, and I think, in recent memory, she's picked some tournament winners, but the BlitzSpeeder is just a hard car to beat. So let's see. No, you're not too late. You are right on time. So let's see. She has picked car number 190. So let's slide down and see what car that is that's going to be taking on. Okay, at first I thought you were picking the Turbo Rooster, but that's 189. That car has some, the aerodynamics on that one are a little wild, and just the profile. But that's not the car she picked. She picked this one, the Bullet Nose. Now this is an interesting pick, because this is definitely one of those late 90s, early 2000s cars, probably 90s. But what's interesting is two things: that it's metal on metal. So, but it's narrow. So it might not, even though it's metal on metal, you would think that it's going to weigh a lot. But because it's so narrow, maybe it doesn't weigh as much as I would think. The other thing is that it's a narrow car, and narrow cars have, it's kind of like the RDO2, where it's kind of hit or miss, because when the cars come out of the launcher, and I don't have a piece of track here to kind of make this point, but when the cars come out of the launcher, they're coming out with a lot of force, and if a car gets pushed off to one side or the other, what's going to happen is it's going to hit one side of the track, and then Isaac Newton's third law of motion: for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. If it hits one side of the track, it is going to bounce off and hit the other side of the track. And then when it hits that other side, it's going to bounce back. And so what ends up happening is you get cars that are just kind of bumping back and forth with this kind of like fishtail wobbling motion all the way down the track. And that's no good, because every time they're hitting the side of the track, that's more friction that serves to slow the cars down. And then that just bouncing back and forth doesn't work. So the cars that do the best, like the BlitzSpeeder, are cars that get that launch and tend to stay straight. They don't bounce around the track a lot. And usually it's wider cars. Cars that are wider don't have as much room on the track to bounce around. Cars that are narrow end up with more room for them to bounce and have sort of more violent impacts with the sides of the track. So it's going to be interesting. If that bullet nose car that Caitlin picked, if it can stay straight, then, well, two things. One, if it doesn't weigh too much. If it gets into that 40-gram range, then that's probably going to be way too much to be competitive with some of the cars that we have here now. But the other thing is whether or not it is going to stay straight. Car number 190. All right. Whether or not it is going to stay straight. If it can stay straight and it doesn't weigh too much, then it might be onto something. I like the fact that it has the larger wheels on the outside. I like that a lot. So we're going to find out if Caitlin can pick another winner, or if it's going to be Rough Shot stepping up with this RD06, or if it is going to be Never Ending's pick that Speed Shark. So a lot of cars already in the mix, but one car that was in the mix from last week, if you recall, was this one. Let me put it back on the little stand here. It was this one. The Creeper, the Minecraft Creeper. And we entered this car into the fleet and then took it out to the track, but then it turns out that the Creeper, I presume this character right here is called the Creeper. I don't know if the vehicle is called the Creeper. Either way, this figure here was too tall to put into the launch channel and fire out without kind of totally throwing everything off. So I had mentioned last week that what I was going to do was just cut this character, cut him off right there, sort of mid-torso, and then we would just have this cart and we would race that. Well, I was just about to cut him in half, but then I noticed on the bottom of the cart there were screws, and there was this really long screw that I pulled out of the bottom, and that allowed me to just pluck him right on out without having to do any kind of extreme damage or cutting. If I decided one day I wanted to put that figure back in, just throw the screw back in there and we would be good to go. But the thing that's important is that now, with the figure removed, we're going to race this cart. And it didn't really get to race last week, just because the figure and it was causing problems. So we're going to race it this week. And we took a look at this on Wind Tunnel Wednesday. And it's not the most aerodynamic. It's probably the least aerodynamically sound car that we've ever put in the wind tunnel and ever raced on the track, aside from the Minecraft Minecart, which was a little square box sitting on wheels that we raced. Didn't think it would be fast, didn't think it would stay on the track. It stayed on the track and it was fast. So I mean, it just goes to show you never really know. Now, it wasn't fast enough to win the race. And the problem with this one, when we put it in the wind tunnel, is that the air was hitting the front and then just piling up, just stacking up against this huge front area. And then it would come around the sides or go over the top. The air that went over the top then swirled around and got trapped down in this compartment open area here. And the air is just flying off in every direction. And what we explain on Wind Tunnel Wednesday is what that means. When you see the airflow doing certain things, it does impact the car's performance, and it changes. It's usually related to the amount of drag that a car is going to experience on the track. And so we always put the BlitzSpeeder in first so that everyone can see what the kind of ideal aerodynamic profile is, and you can see that's kind of what you want to match. So if there's ever a car, if you're thinking about cars, you're looking through, there's 850 cars to choose from, you're not sure, a good thing to do, and we've had a few people do it, is on Wind Tunnel Wednesday, tell me the 2 cars that you're thinking about. We'll put those in, and you can take a look. And it's not going to tell you everything you need to know, but it's going to tell you a lot about what you need to know. So if Christopher, if he's watching, if he makes it back, this is exactly what he did. He had 2 cars that he wanted to check out. We put them in the wind tunnel. One had a pretty bad aerodynamic profile. The air was coming off, and it suggested that there was going to be a lot of drag, which was going to slow that car down. The second car he picked was this Lamborghini, and the airflow looked really good, very comparable to the BlitzSpeeder. So that car is the one that he went with, and he made his choice based on what he watched happen in the wind tunnel. So if you haven't seen it before, the episodes are on. If you go to our YouTube channel, you can find all the Wind Tunnel Wednesday episodes and take a look. It's kind of an interesting thing to see how these cars, especially the fantasy cars, because with the fantasy cars, we never really know what all the little extra parts and pieces that they add to the car, what those are going to do and how those are going to impact the car on the track. And putting them in the wind tunnel does kind of give us a little bit of an idea. So in some cases, we see the car in the wind tunnel first, and we see that profile, and then we put it on the track and see what it does and if that matches up. In other cases, we'll have cars that we see on the track first, and then take them to the wind tunnel and see if what we saw on the track matches up with what we saw in the wind tunnel. And the reason to do this, like I would tell the students, is you're making these observations, and after you make enough observations, you get enough information, then you can start to see and have a better idea when you're selecting cars which one's going to be fast, because now you've brought in more data, more information. So we know what the BlitzSpeeder can do on the track. We know what the BlitzSpeeder's aerodynamic profile looks like. We know the weight of the BlitzSpeeder. So those are 3 pieces of information that we have that if your car matches up in all 3 of those areas, then you might have a shot. So we are going to find out today which of these cars has a shot. I don't think that this Creeper Minecraft cart thing is going to have a shot, but we will be putting it up against the other Minecraft Minecart, which I believe is number, I want to say, yeah, see, I was totally wrong. That's why I keep this master spreadsheet, so that I can find the cars. Minecraft, where was it? I just saw it. Okay, the Minecart is number 543. So that's another one that I will be pulling. We have 543. And that already gives us 4 cars. We usually run about 6 cars in the race, but we will see what we are going to do. So let me go ahead and pull out a new car to be introduced into the fleet, because that is what we're here to do. Let's go with this one. I'm surprised this isn't already in some way, but I'm going to double check the spreadsheet, because always got to make sure, don't want to have duplicates. FI, we have a Fiat, we have Fished and Chips, and that is it. We don't have this. Okay, so now we're going to introduce this, the Fig Rig, and it is part of the Track Stars series, and I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I finally looked up, what does all this mean? This Track Stars, Best for Track, there's a bunch of these little marketing designations. What Hot Wheels claims is that the cars with this designation have a metal base and I guess are lower, and I guess they're trying to lower the center of gravity and therefore make it faster on the track. I don't know if that's actually the case, but we're gonna find out with the Fig rig, and on the back with the track stars. It does say, it says, peel out orange wheels signify that these vehicles are built for ultimate track performance. We'll see. So let's crack this open and see what we've got. All right. Oh, and I think it may be the case that I think I've got one right here. If I can get a hold of it. I think it's called the Fig rig because you can put these Lego figures in there. Yep, that's it. So this would have been a good one to have the Minecraft creeper in that cart, and then put a figure on the back of this one, and I would take this one every time, but we are not going to put the figure in there. We're going to check the weight though. And the weight, so we already know that the BlitzSpeeder is 32.4 grams. This Fig rig is 37.2, so it is a little heavier, but we won't let's get this lined up. All right, let's switch over to that view and take a look at the Fig rig. And as it comes around, I will get my video. And I've had this, I feel like I bought this car a long time ago. But this is the first it's not in the fleet, so I don't know what I was waiting for. But this one, it's got the little bar at the back where the tailgate would be on a standard truck, and it's an odd kind of thing. We don't really see cars with back ends like that, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think it'll still get a good solid push out of the launching blocks, and by all accounts it should be fast. And what I just said that I read online about these Track Stars cars was that there were metal bases on plastic bodies on metal bases, but as we can see here, this is the opposite. This is a metal body on a plastic base, which probably accounts for the slightly, 37 grams is not a lot, but it's at the top end of what we want to see on the track and the types of cars that we've seen perform well. It's got the little 8-bit pixelated number 2 there. We've got the little Track Stars logo. We have had trucks, in particular the Draftnator, do very well on the track. So it's not unheard of. I just don't have many trucks that I can put into the fleet because the trucks tend to be wider and too wide to fit into the launcher. So I've got a whole box of trucks in storage, and at some point I'll figure out what to do with all those, and we will have some kind of racing, some kind of competition involving those trucks. But for right now, they don't, you know what? I'm going to put change the color of the background just because it's a little hard to see that dark purple against that blue. All right, that's a little bit better. And we now have the Fig rig in the fleet. And we will see what it can do on the track. This is going to be an interesting race because we've got cars. I could make an argument for every car except for the Minecraft cart, but I think there's an argument to be made for every car that we have lined up to race. So right now we have the Fig rig, the RD06. We have the Minecraft creeper, and then we are going to be pulling Caitlin's cars, Never Ending's car, and we'll be almost good to go. And then I'm going to have to pull that Minecraft Minecart. Let's see what else we've got. What else do we have in the bag here? We've got, it's pretty standard. Let's see. How about we go with, we already did a bus. We can try this one. I'm seeing this in the store. I don't think it's very popular. I'm seeing it every store I go into. They seem to have a lot of these just left on the shelves, but who knows? The Later Crater. It is this kind of fantasy SUV crossover something. I don't know exactly what it is, but it does not have the off-road tires. It has the standard Hot Wheels tires, and aerodynamically, the profile is not too bad. It's kind of a more bulky vehicle, but the one thing that I did like and that I did notice was the back end, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. So let's crack this open. The Later Crater. And these cars, I guess, are part of a series where the stance, I guess, reverse rake, they're higher on the front than the back, which is something that we typically see in reverse. So let's crack this open. By the way, if you like, if you're here, you're obviously into Hot Wheels racing, and you should check out Never Ending on his channel. He's got Hot Wheels races and racing, and if you're into Hot Wheels, you're probably into other toys and collectibles. And Roughshod has a YouTube empire over there. If you're into toys, he's always out hunting for toys. He's got wrestling over there, so if you're into toys, wrestling, all that, then check out his channel, and you can see all of the. He does the legwork. Like, I'll watch Roughshod's videos, and then I'll see things, and then I know what to go look for in the stores. So I'm not out there just kind of randomly hunting. I'm looking for, in some cases, things that I've seen in his videos, and so check that out. All right, next we've got this Later Crater, and I don't know that this is. I don't know what to expect from it because there's a lot of. Well, let me check the weight. I forgot to do that. Let me check the weight. The weight is 36.2 grams, so it's right at the edge of what we want to see in terms of ideal kind of weight. You want to be in that 32 to 36 gram range, and if that's where you are, you got a pretty decent shot. I'll go ahead and get the still picture of this one, and you can see the it's that back end. It's actually a little difficult to see because it's got a plastic kind of smoked out tint to it, but when it comes around here on the video, you'll be able to see. Wrong way. You'll be able to see that it's flat and the angle that it's at, I think, is going to mean that this car is going to get a great push out of the launcher. And that's the first stage. If you can get a good solid launch, then from there you're pretty much gonna be in the race. Let's see, this fig rig, I didn't check the year for the manufacturing, and that's because it is not, oh no, there it is, 2020. 2020 is the manufacturing year for the fig rig, and car number 857, the later crater. And didn't check the year on that, but we will. I don't know. I think this could beat that Minecraft Minecart, or the Minecraft Creeper. And then I don't think it would beat any of the cars necessarily, but it might be competitive with that fig rig. But I don't know. These fantasy cars are always a toss-up, and you just really never know until you actually get them out on the track. So that's what we're going to do. We have the later crater, and let me check the year. And this one is a metal base and a plastic body. The year is 2023. And we got the video just before the camera overheated. Oh well. At least we got the video. Alright, so we have the later crater. We have the fig rig. Those are the two that we've introduced that are new. We have the creeper from last week. We've got the RDO 6. We have these other, so here's what we'll do. While I wait for the camera to cool off and come back on, I'm going to go and pull Caitlin and Never Endings. I'm going to go pull their cars, and then we will take a look at those, and then we'll, and the Minecraft Minecart. I'm going to pull that, and then we will have a full setup, and we will be one step closer to hitting the track. So I'm going to pull those cars. The graphic, I only have the bathroom graphic, so it's going to say 5 minutes. It won't take me 5 minutes, so I will grab those cars and be right back. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so let's see. I have these cars here. So let's check out the what was it called? The Street Shark Speed. Some of these cars, the name is not on the bottom. So when I put them into the spreadsheet. I have already looked those up, but let me double check. So that was, yeah, the Speed Shark. All right, the weight. Let's check the weight on the Speed Shark. The weight is 32.7 grams, so it's a good weight. And now the camera's had a chance to cool off a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So this is the Speed Shark. Zoom in there. And aerodynamically, it's hard. It's so hard to say with these fantasy cars because the lines on this, the shapes on this, the design is just not something that we can compare it to. So this is going to be a case of a car where we run it on the track, and we're going to see how it performs today. And then on Wednesday, I will put this car into the wind tunnel to see what happens. Because, especially in this area, is the air going to get into this area where it can be impacted by these like gills? It's hard to say because this front area doesn't have any openings. So in theory, what's going to happen is the air is going to hit the front of this car and push up over the top. But now we get into this situation where we have this open cockpit area. And cars like this, we've seen two things happen. Either the air flows right up over the top and continues along the body, or the air hits this open area and then starts to just detach from the body. And when the air detaches from the body, that's a problem because you're creating a pressure drag situation that's going to work to slow the car down. What you want is for the air to stay attached, the airflow to stay attached to the body all the way to the end. And the BlitzSpeeder does that. I think we were kind of seeing that with the RD06 and that Lamborghini that Christopher picked. So we have, but who knows what's going to happen with this one. Either way, I also noticed that the front wheels are smaller than the rear wheels. And that's something I'm noticing here. Don't know if we've had a car with different size wheels perform well on the track, but this may be a first. So we've got the Speed Shark here, and that is one of the cars we're going to see. Let's check out this Bullet Nose car. That was Caitlin's pick, I believe. Yeah. And it weighs in at 37.8 grams. So it is a little heavier, but it is not so heavy that I'm concerned that the weight is going to be a problem. What I am thinking about is the fact that this car is so narrow. But the body of the car is narrow, but the wheels are set out pretty wide. I think more or less in a kind of standard Hot Wheels configuration. So the body of the car being narrow might not be as big of a concern. Usually what we see, if we have a narrow car, the wheels are also kind of tucked right aligned with the body, so the whole thing is narrow. Really with this one, it might have a better shot because the wheels have the width, so it's not as likely to bounce around the track as much, I don't think. And then the body is pretty compact, narrow, streamlined. So this will be an interesting car to see what happens. What kind of launch it gets is also going to be something to look at, because the back end is narrow, and that's the only part that will be touching the launching block. And you see you have that little bump right there, and that sticks out a little further than these ends, so that's probably going to be the only point. of contact with the launching block that this car has, and what kind of difference will that make? I do not know, but we are going to find out. That is the bullet nose. So let me just check my notes. All right, and then we have Roughshod's RDO6, which comes in at 27.3 grams, so it's a light car. And how that plays out is going to be interesting, because what we have seen in the past is light cars drag slows them down at the end. So we'll have these really light cars. They'll take off, they'll look good, and then toward the back end of the track, it'll look like they're slowing down, and then the other car that they're racing passes them by. And that's usually because drag has worked to slow the lighter car down. The other car passes it by. But we saw with the RDO6, when it was in the wind tunnel, that may not be a problem with this car, because it's got a very good aerodynamic profile. So it may be able to reduce that drag and keep its speed up toward the back end of the track, and take a race or two, maybe 3, maybe the whole thing. We're gonna find out. So that's the RDO6, and very light, but I'm definitely interested to see what this car can do. So we have that one. We also are going to bring out the Minecraft Minecart. We're bringing that one back out. 28.2 grams, so it's also a light vehicle, and I'm hesitant to call it a car. It's just a box on wheels, and I was shocked, absolutely shocked, that it stayed on the track the last time. And so now that I know it'll stay on the track, I'm just curious to see how it does against the Minecraft, against the Creeper. And this one is the least aerodynamic car we've ever seen until this Creeper car. And it's got a metal base, this brown part, the dark brown part at the bottom, and then the rest is just plastic. The middle is empty, because I think you can just put a figure in there, either a Lego or maybe this guy. Yeah. So you have options with that, but we are not going to be racing with this character in the car. So we're going to pop that out, and that's the Minecraft Minecart. That's going to be racing. And then this one that Christopher picked on Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So he had two. I forget what the other car was that he had selected, but it was between that car and this one. I think it was a Ferrari. So he had a Ferrari that he was looking at. The Ferrari had the open cockpit. And because it had the open cockpit, the air was flowing, breaking loose from the car, and it seemed like it was going to create a problem in terms of the overall aerodynamic. Well, the aerodynamics were going to create a situation where there was too much drag, and it was going to slow the car down. He also went with this car, put this in the wind tunnel, and that airflow over this car was pretty much ideal. And we are going to see if that translates to being fast on the track. Hopefully, for his sake, it does. So we've got this Lamborghini Murcielago LP 670 SV. So we've got this car, and other than that, we've got all these cars are waiting to go up against the BlitzSpeeder and see which we'll see which one of them can challenge the BlitzSpeeder. If they can they'll put it like this: they'll race against the BlitzSpeeder. Will they challenge the BlitzSpeeder? Anybody's guess. So we've got a full lineup of cars. cars, trucks, character cars, old school cars. Everything is in here. Everything's ready to go. So now, let me review this just in case this happens to be your first time watching an all about aerodynamics at the track live race. And let me double check because Mother's Day is tomorrow. So happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And my mom was watching Wind Tunnel Wednesday, but she doesn't understand how to go to the page to find the car and pick a car. I've explained it, but I think I need to kind of walk her through it. And so she threw out a number, and I looked up the car and pulled the car and put it in the race. And then later on, I told her, I said, oh, okay, so you figured it out. She was like, no, I didn't figure it out. I just knew that you had 800 cars, so I just picked a number. So she picked a number at random, and I pulled the car, and we put it in the wind tunnel, whatever. So I sent her the instructions this morning. So I don't know if she's watching. I don't know if she's going through. I'll find out later. But Mom, if you want to pick a car, then you need to put that number into the chat pretty soon so I can pull the car. But when we hit the track, when we go to the track, this is what you are going to see. You're going to see our 3-camera racetrack view, and the cars are going to start at the top of the screen on the left in the launcher. I am going to give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I'm going to hit the switch. The cars are going to fire out of the launcher. They're going to go from top to bottom, and they are going to pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left. They are going to show up at the top of the screen in the middle, the center section of our track. They are going to go from top to bottom. They are going to pass out of the bottom of the screen in the middle, and they are going to show up at the top of the screen on the right, our finish line camera. The cars are going to come from top to bottom. They're going to cross the finish line, and the car that wins the race will be indicated with a solid red light. The car that loses the race will be indicated with a flashing red light. So solid red light, you're the winner. Flashing red light, you lost. The races are best 2 out of 3. The cars will switch lanes after each race. And in the event that a car crashes, we throw out the results of that race and we restart it. But the key to that is the car has to crash and leave the track. If your car crashes, flips upside down, goes on its side, does something else weird, but it stays on the track, that counts, and you lose. If your car crashes and leaves the track, that's the best case scenario, because then we just throw out the results of that race, start again. But there's a danger. If your car crashes twice consecutively, it's out. It's disqualified, because usually if a car crashes twice consecutively, there's some issue with the combination of the car and the launch, and that's not going to be resolved by just rerunning the race. So your car crashes, leaves the track twice, it's gone. Other than that, I think that is pretty much all that we need to know. We are going to see which of these cars comes out on top. I am going to gather them up. I am going to go over to the track, and I will see you there in 30 seconds. We are just about ready to go. Just let me check the always want to double check the audio, because there was one race months ago. 1, 2, yep, we're good. One race months ago, actually probably more like a year ago, that the audio cut out, and it was just basically a silent race. I didn't realize the audio had cut out until after I went back to go look at the episode. So now I always double check the audio right at the beginning, and make sure we're good to go. So, all right. We have a pretty good lineup here of cars. Lots of different styles and types of cars. I like when we have that because if we're always racing the same types and kinds of cars, it gets a little boring. And Hot Wheels have so many variations that I like to see what some of the unconventional cars will do. So I think this first race we're going to start off with the most unconventional cars. It's going to be the Minecraft Minecart against the Minecraft Creeper. Is it the Creeper or is it the Minecraft? Now the Creeper is the big one that we had to pull the figure out of. So that is the Creeper. The Creeper will be in lane number 2. It is essentially, it's like a shopping cart. It's like just a big bucket and a big rectangular tub that I can't seem to get lined up properly. Let's go. Come on, stay in place. Some of these cars roll forward just a bit, and it's just enough to kind of like throw off their launch. Okay, so the Minecraft Minecart is in lane number 1. And it is the box on wheels. So this is the Minecraft challenge we've got going on. It's going to be the Minecart, which is a small box on wheels in lane 1, versus the Creeper, which is the kind of bathtub on wheels in lane 2. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Both cars made it down, and once again, you see that minecart? You see how fast that thing is? Now it's completely possible that the Creeper is just slow. It's completely possible that the Creeper is just slow. But I continue to be impressed with this box on wheels that is the Minecraft Minecart. I don't know what it is, but that thing is fast. And we're talking about all these other cars. I brought the Minecart in just so we could have a little Minecraft versus Minecraft race. But we might mess around and end up with the Minecart in the finals. I don't know. All right, here's race 2. We've got the Minecart in lane 2. We've got the Creeper in lane 1. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Whoa. That one was closer, but the Creeper took it. You can tell by the solid red light. So we've got a race here. As Roughshot said, yeah, the Minecraft war, the Minecraft battle for track supremacy is happening right now. So we are going to switch up the lanes and put the Minecart in lane 2. Oh, wait, no. Wait, the Minecart should be in lane 1. And Creeper, the bathtub on wheels, is in lane 2. We are ready. This is race number 3. Each of these vehicles has taken a race, and so now we've got the Minecart in lane 1 and the Creeper in lane 2. Race 3. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Creeper takes it. I'm sorry, Creeper. I get these confused. The Minecart takes it. Creeper did very well, and I think if the Creeper didn't have that open sort of bathtub area, it's like a storage tote on wheels. If it didn't have that open area, it may have been able to beat out the Minecart. I don't know. but fact of the matter is, it did not. So now let's go. How about we go? Let's go with the Speed Shark. We'll take Neverending's Speed Shark, and we'll put that up against the Fig Rig. So we've got the Fig Rig pickup truck thing, and we are not attaching any figures to the cars, even though if you purchase one, that is an optional thing for you to do. The Speed Shark is in lane 2. The Fig Rig is in lane 1. Now the Fig Rig is one of the Hot Wheels that had the Track Stars gimmick logo on it. So we're going to find out if that means anything. But we've got the Fig Rig in lane 1. We've got the Speed Shark in lane 2. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Okay, the Fig Rig with its Track Stars designation took that race. Both those cars looked pretty good, looked pretty fast, but the Fig Rig definitely took it. Now I switched out this morning. I switched out the elastic. I have these very big elastic bands that I use in the launcher, and every week or two, about 2 weeks or so, 2 to 3 weeks, I switch out the band, and when we put in a fresh band, then those bands require more force to expand them, which means that we're going to get more elastic force when we release the launcher, and those bands contract and we get a lot more speed. So I think some of the speed we're seeing today is because we have a fresh band in there. So we're going to see what happens race number 2. We've got the Speed Shark in lane 1, and we have the Fig Rig in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Oh, the Fig Rig. The Fig Rig came out with some power and some speed, and maybe looking at the finals already, because that was a pretty solid performance. I am going to be interested on Wind Tunnel Wednesday to see what the Speed Shark looks like in the wind tunnel, because I'm kind of curious about the aerodynamic profile on that one. Now let's go with the bullet nose and the later crater. So this is Caitlin's pick, and we are going to get that lined up against this sort of crossover car thing, the later crater. Getting that lined up in lane 1. So it'll stay put. All right. And the bullet nose is going to be in lane number 2. Get this in there. All right, we are ready to go. Let's see. Let's get rid of this nonsense here. All right, and race number 1. We've got the bullet nose in lane 2. We have the later crater in lane 1. Race 1, here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Ooh. That was actually close, and at least from my perspective down here, I had to keep an eye on the finish line lights to see which car actually won, and it turns out it was the later crater. And I didn't see anything before when I said I might be worried that the bullet nose would wobble around the track or get a strange launch, I think what we discussed about the wheels being wide prevented it from bumping around and creating additional friction and slowing it down. So that didn't happen, but it still didn't beat out the later crater. So we're going to get these lined up again. Later crater in lane 2 and the bullet nose in lane 1. We are lined up. We are ready to go. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. It was close. It was a good race. It was just that the bullet nose from the beginning stayed about I would say I almost want to say about a car length just behind. It was like just on the bumper of the later crater for pretty much the entire race, and that is that's how both the races went. So let's see. All right, now we're gonna take a look at Roughshod's RD06, and it's gonna go up against this Lamborghini that was picked by Christopher on Wednesday. And I'm gonna get these cars lined up. I'm gonna get the RD06 right here in lane 2. Get it in there. And we're going to get this Lamborghini in lane 1. And the Lamborghini, it's in, again, Christopher, he had a choice between a Lamborghini and a Ferrari. And based on what he saw in the wind tunnel, he ended up going with the Lamborghini. So this is the race. We've got the RD06, lane 2, Lamborghini, lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Whoa. Okay. RD06 takes it, and takes it by a lot. Now it's always a situation where when we have just one race, it's hard to tell are the results we saw, was the Lamborghini just slow? Did it get a bad launch? Or is the RD06 just that fast? Well, we won't have to wonder for much longer, because we are going to set these cars up, switch lanes, and see if the results are similar. So just like with the previous race, the results should be similar if the cars both get a good launch. Then each race should be similar. So in that previous race, that the bullet nose and the later crater, the margin of victory was about the same in both races. So I think both cars got good pushes and good launches, but the results were almost exactly the same. So I think what we saw is just what we saw. There's no doubt that the later crater was that much faster than the bullet nose. So we're going to see here, is the RD06 going to blow out the Lamborghini again, or are we going to see a closer race, or possibly a Lamborghini victory? I don't know. Lamborghini's in lane 2, RD06 in lane 1, race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. RD06 took it. It was not the complete total blowout and destruction that the first race was, but the RD06 definitely took it. It is a fast car. The aerodynamics, we had that one in the wind tunnel, and we know that it had a good, solid aerodynamic profile, and it is moving on. So now we are down to, we've got the RD06, we've got the Fig Rig, we've got the later crater, and we've got the Minecart. So let's go ahead and go. Let's go. How about we go RD06 and later crater, and see which which car is going to come out on top and move into the finals for the opportunity to challenge the BlitzSpeeder. All right, we've got the RD06 in lane 2. We've got the Later Crater in lane 1. These cars both had impressive performances in their first races. So here we go. RD06 lane 2, Later Crater lane 1, race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Later Crater took it. It's funny. The Later Crater, it doesn't look like it's going all that fast. It's definitely got kind of a smooth roll to it. If you remember a few weeks ago when we had that Dodge, that Brazilian Dodge Charger, and that thing just shook and banged its way down the track, and it was fast, but it was kind of a violent couple of runs that it made down the track. The Later Crater is pretty much the opposite. It's very smooth, doesn't look like it's going that fast, but when you look up at the end, it has taken the race. So we are going to switch lanes. We're going to put this RD06 in lane 1. And remember, the RD06 was very light. It was, I think, 27 grams, somewhere like that. And we've already kind of documented and talked about the problems that really light cars have on the track, in that drag tends to get them towards the back end. But we thought with the RD06's aerodynamic profile, drag wouldn't sort of take hold of it and slow it down and impact it quite as much because of the shape of the car and design of the car. But I don't know. But it's not like the RD06 had a lead and lost the lead. It was never in the lead to begin with. So we're going to see if that changes. This is race number 2. We've got the RD06 in lane 1. We've got the Later Crater in lane 2. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh, wow. See, so maybe the RD06 just got a bad launch in the first race because of that race, or maybe I don't know. But the RD06 just destroyed the Later Crater, and so I don't know. Is the Later Crater winning? Was that just an anomaly, or is that how it's going to be? We're about to find out. So, kind of unlike the race with the bullet nose, in the Later Crater, we got the exact same results each time. Now, what we're seeing is completely different results. But we're going to find out right here. Can the RD06... I don't understand. I don't know what... There's lots of things that can happen, but the RD06 blew the doors off the Later Crater in that race. But then it lost the first race, which was not close, but closer. So we're going to see right here. Later Crater is in lane 1. RD06 is in lane 2. This is race number 3. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Oh. And the RD06, that was sort of the classic example of what we were talking about with the lighter cars. It had the lead, and towards that, as it got toward that back third of the track, you could see it just started slowing down, and the Later Crater started to pick up speed, or not pick up speed. It looked like it was picking up speed, but what was really happening is the RD06 was slowing down and just couldn't maintain the speed. And so you have to start to wonder if it's the weight, and if the weight of these cars, when you start getting significantly lighter, like if the RD06 had a couple more grams on it, would that have made the difference? I think it may have made a difference, because when we start getting to those cars with that sub under 30 grams into the mid to high 20s, we see a pattern. And this is what the whole point of making these observations and doing these races is: we start to see trends, we start to see patterns. And one of the trends and patterns is that cars that are light end up slowing down toward the back end of the track and getting past. So we'll keep an eye on that. Now we've got the Minecart and the most improbable fast car that we've seen against the Fig Rig. Fig Rig is in lane 1. The Minecart is in lane 2. And we are ready to go with race 1. The Minecart is just a bizarre car. We'll see what happens. Minecart lane 2, Fig Rig lane 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. I mean, the minecart is quick, but it can't. In the end, it's not going to be able to overcome. It's not going to be able to overcome the bad aerodynamics, and I forget what the weight was, but I think it's also a very light car, and you're not going to beat the top tier cars with bad aerodynamics. It's just that's the whole point. So we're going to switch sides because anything can happen. So now the Minecart is in lane 1 and the Fig Rig is in lane 2. Race number 2 coming up. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That race was a little closer, but it wasn't so close as to ever wonder which car was coming out on top. That was the Fig Rig. So now we've got a finals matchup of the Fig Rig versus the later Crater. And if I had to pick, I'd be going with the Fig Rig. But the later Crater has already surprised me a couple of times today. I didn't expect it to beat the RDO 6. I just didn't. But it did, and here we are. The Fig Rig, with the Hot Wheels Track Stars designation, is trying to be the second pickup truck after the Draftnator to win the tournament. So we will see. We've got the later Crater in lane 2. We've got the Fig Rig in lane 1. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. That race was pretty close, but the Fig Rig took it. And the Fig Rig is now one win away from making it to the finals and challenging the BlitzSpeeder. But the later Crater, all it has to do is take two races. Something we've seen cars do many times before on the track, so it's not a big deal. But it is going to have to make sure that it takes this race number 2. So now the later Crater's in lane 1, the Fig Rig is in lane 2. This is race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. The Fig Rig took it with ease, and the Fig Rig is today's champion. That performance was fine. I mean, it beat the later Crater, but the question is, can it beat the BlitzSpeeder? And that's a whole different level of racing, but we're going to find out. So we've got our champion, the Fig Rig, but it's taking on our fastest in fleet champion. There's one thing to be champion of the tournament, champion for a day, and maybe champion for a few minutes. It's a whole other thing to take on the BlitzSpeeder. But maybe this is the sleeper. Maybe this is the car to do it. So the Fig Rig is in lane 2. The BlitzSpeeder is in lane 1. We are going to see. We're going to see if this can be an upset, or if this is just going to be another notch on the BlitzSpeeder's belt. So BlitzSpeeder lane 1, and we've got the Fig Rig in lane 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. BlitzSpeeder's like, wake me up when you get a challenger. That was not close at all. BlitzSpeeder took the race by so many car lengths that I didn't even have to look to see what the result was going to be once the cars got to the halfway point. The BlitzSpeeder was just so far ahead. So we've got the Fig Rig now lined up in lane number 1. And I just said that we've seen cars come back, win 2 races in a row. Not a big deal. That's true, but not against the BlitzSpeeder. When you get destroyed by the BlitzSpeeder in lane 1, it's pretty clear that there's going to be a destruction in race number 2. Let's just hope the Fig Rig can make it kind of competitive. So we're going to see Fig Rig lane 1, BlitzSpeeder lane 2, fastest in fleet championship on the line. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Wow. By the time they hit that first, the track is divided into 3 sections. First section, the center section, and the finish line. By the time the cars complete the first section, the first third of the track, that race was absolutely over. Completely, totally, all the way over. So let me grab up these cars, head back into the garage, and then we're going to take a look at what we saw and what we've got coming up. Okay, so once again, we have the BlitzSpeeder as our fastest in fleet champion, but let me see here. Looks like, let's see, Roughshod is already, he always has one ready to go. So let's see, Roughshod, the Mega Race, the Gazella R defeated the BlitzSpeeder, and the BlitzSpeeder returned and defeated the Gazella R. Now his pick was defeated by the Gazella R, but never lost to the BlitzSpeeder. So he is coming back with the Gazella GT. Hold on to your hat. Let's go ahead and take a look at car 428, the Gazella GT. I remember that race, so let's take a look. 428. I remember the race because I remember it was Gazella and Gazella, but I don't remember what the car looked like. 428. Oh, okay. Okay, the Gazella GT. Now, the Gazella GT is definitely, if you look at that car and you look at the BlitzSpeeder, you can see a lot of similarities. And what I'm looking for now, as far as cars that are going to challenge the BlitzSpeeder, is that transition from the hood to the windshield to the roof. And with the BlitzSpeeder, it's just a seamless transition, and the airflow, when we put the car in the wind tunnel, the air just flows right up over the hood, right across the windshield, up to the roof, and right down to the back of the car. That's exactly what we're seeing here with this Gazella GT. And it now the one thing, and we probably discussed this when it raced the Gazella R, is that it doesn't have a wing in the back. There's no wing. And what we've seen with the cars that have been performing pretty well is that they have a wing in the back, and that usually, number one, it presses up against the launching block and has that surface area pressed up there. And then it's usually aligned to the roof line. But we don't have that. But we do have just about everything else that I would think that you would need. We have the that splitter in the front. Same thing that we've seen. I believe the Gazella R also had that. So we're going to put this car in the wind tunnel on Wednesday, because I do want to see what happens to the air when it flows off the back. We know with the BlitzSpeeder, the air flows, and let me switch over to this view. We know with the the BlitzSpeeder, the air flows right up off here over the roof, right to this back part, and then right off that wing. And that is exactly what you want to have. You don't have any air separating from the body of the car until it's supposed to, which is at the very end. And the BlitzSpeeder, it's able to reduce, like so far, that's what we know. We know that the BlitzSpeeder is able to reduce the impact of drag. We also know that the friction that's caused when cars bump around the sides of the track, the BlitzSpeeder reduces that, because it stays straight on the track and there's not a lot of wobbling and shaking. Gravity, of course, is affecting all of these cars, but the Gazella is in that sweet spot in terms of weight. It's at 32.4 grams, and it doesn't seem like a lot because it's not a lot, but with the RD06, it was 27 grams, so that's significantly lighter. And again, we saw at the end of that race, it got toward the back third of the track, and it looked like the later crater just picked up speed and beat it. We know that the later crater is not picking up speed. It's just a matter of the other car slowing down. In this case, the RD06 slowing down. And you have to ask, all right, what would make a car slow down? And there's three things: gravity, friction, and drag. And because the cars are getting pushed out with the same amount of force, and you need more force if you want a heavier car to go further than a lighter car with the same amount of force. You're going to need more force on that larger car. But the cars come out, they get the same push. They get the same amount of force pushing them out of the launching block. So then you start to ask, okay, what are the other factors coming into play? Gravity, drag, and friction. So the car that can reduce the impact of those forces the most tends to do the best. And right now, that is the BlitzSpeeder. So we're going to see what happens with that Gazella GT. And like I said, the air is going to flow up over that Gazella GT. But what happens when it gets to the back? Or, like, will the air stay attached or will it detach? For the answers to those questions and more, you'll need to tune in to Wind Tunnel Wednesday, which is our program where we take Hot Wheels cars, put them into the Winzable wind tunnel, and you can pick a car just like you do with the races. You can pick a car to put in the wind tunnel. If you're considering two different cars, pick both cars. I'll put them both in, and we'll see what happens. But the Winsible wind tunnel. It's turned out to be a cool little device that I'm glad I picked up. I was checking, or I got a email from the company that makes it, and they're making different larger scale, I think 1/18 and 1/24 scale versions that they're planning to make, in addition to the 1/64 scale. But as you know, with everything, with the tariffs and the taxes and the shipping, they've had to raise their price because they're manufactured, I'm pretty sure, in China. And if you've got something made in China now, hope you already have it. But anyway, their prices are going up, and the price was already high, in my opinion. I mean, I bought the thing because this is exactly what I do, so it's perfect. But if you want to get one now, the prices have gone up. I think on some of the larger scale ones, prices gone up by like $100, and they go through what, you know, their costs are and why it's gone up, and it's mainly because of the tariffs and the manufacturing and then shipping. So if you don't have hundreds of dollars to spend on Winsible wind tunnel, all you have to do is come back to our channel on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, and you can see whichever car you want in the wind tunnel. We'll crank it up, take a look at the aerodynamic profile, get into the science of what we're seeing, and take a look at, so like the Speed Shark, we're going to put that in the wind tunnel on Wednesday because it's such a strange car. I don't know. I want to see how the air was flowing over, under, and around that car. And we compare all of those cars to the BlitzSpeeder, so you'll get to see the BlitzSpeeder in the wind tunnel. We'll have that Gazella GT, and really any other car that you want to see. Same thing, just go to AtTheTrack.live, select the Choose a Car page, find the car you want, take the number, drop it in the chat, boom. I will pull it, just like we did today. So that is what we're doing today, and what we did. Every Saturday we're here, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're looking at new cars. We are having races. You can make a pick. We're going to have fun racing Hot Wheels cars and seeing what happens. So that is what we do. If you want information on the other thing that we do, all about aerodynamics, then you can go to AAAerodynamics.com, or you can go to our Instagram account, AAAerodynamics, and all the information about the program is there. It is, in my opinion, a great program. Students always learn a lot, and they have fun, and what could be better? So, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, 4 p.m. At the Track Live, 11 a.m. All about aerodynamics. Whenever your organization or school wants us to be there, we'll be there. So, for All About Aerodynamics at the Track Live, Wind Tunnel Wednesday, I am Coach James. Have a great weekend, and until next time, I will see you at the races.